Mastering the art of getting what you want in the workplace. Brought to you by Lux von Zollern, the maker of exclusive garments for successful women, available at the website lvzprestige.com. Think Lux von Zollern when you wish to amplify your executive impact in high-stakes business environments. So, you've decided that enough is enough, and it's time to take charge of your career, right? You're tired of waiting for that promotion to come to you like it's some kind of gift from the corporate gods. You've played the good employee card, worked hard, been the team player, helped the boss with their endless to-do list. But now it's time for you to play a different game. The truth is, if you want to get ahead in the workplace, you have to master the art of getting what you want. And no, I'm not talking about sending out passive-aggressive emails about your workload, as tempting as that might be. This is all about strategy, like a game of chess, but with higher stakes and fewer pawns. Ready? Here's how to start winning at the corporate game. The subtle art of playing dumb, but not really. You know that moment when your boss asks you to take on a task that you know isn't in your job description, and your first instinct is to roll your eyes and give a long speech about your boundaries? Well, stop right there, superstar. I'm about to teach you the subtle art of appearing clueless, which, when done right, will get you everything you want, and maybe even a little more. Here's the trick. When you appear clueless about something, while secretly knowing exactly what's going on, you instantly become the go-to person when the real experts can't get the job done. Why? Because you've now put yourself in the "I'm just trying to help" category. Who can resist the charm of someone who just wants to learn? Just make sure you give off that "I'm here to help" vibe without actually looking like you don't know what's happening. It's about subtlety, not stupidity. For example, the next time someone asks if you can tackle a new project, instead of immediately saying no, or launching into an emotional explanation about your plate being full, try this: I haven't worked on that before, but I'm curious. Let me take a look, and I'll see what I can do. Boom. You've just volunteered yourself, but in the most charming way possible. Use the power of strategic silence. Let's talk about the silent treatment. No, not the dramatic high school version, but the strategic kind. In competitive environments, what you don't say is just as important as what you do. Mastering the art of silence is a skill that most people overlook, but it's a powerful tool when used correctly. Picture this. You're in a meeting, and everyone's throwing out ideas, trying to one-up each other. Instead of blurting out your thoughts just to get heard, hold back, lean in slightly, nod thoughtfully, pause before speaking. The effect? People will start looking to you for validation, wondering why you haven't spoken yet. Suddenly, you're the one with the wisdom, the person whose opinion must be savored because, clearly, you're holding something important. Strategic silence puts you in a position of power, and it's a subtle way of creating mystery around your intentions. Think of it as a power move that requires zero effort, because let's be honest, being the quiet one sometimes means you're the smartest one in the room. The subtle flattery that pays off. Oh, you didn't think we'd skip the art of flattery, did you? The truth is, when you master the art of making people feel special without coming off as disingenuous, you'll be amazed at how quickly doors open for you. People love hearing how great they are, even if they already know it. But instead of showering compliments like confetti, try to offer strategic flattery. Compliment people on what they value most, like their brilliant organizational skills or unstoppable work ethic, even if you secretly have no idea how they manage it. When you make them feel special, they'll start thinking you're special too. This doesn't mean you have to kiss up or give out compliments like they're free coffee at a meeting. Be specific. Don't just say, "You're amazing." Instead, say, "I really admire how you handle multiple tasks so efficiently. It's something I aspire to do myself." Notice the difference? You've acknowledged their brilliance, made them feel powerful, and subtly positioned yourself as someone who's worthy of that same recognition. Here's the kicker. You're not just buttering them up, you're building a relationship that will help you move forward, one compliment at a time. Know when to play the "I'm busy" card. Okay, let's be honest for a second. Sometimes, you're not really busy. But that's okay, because no one at the office needs to know that. It's all about strategic perception. When people see you as a busy person, suddenly everything changes. You're not just someone who can be easily interrupted anymore. You're in demand. And guess what? People want to work with people in demand. So, how do you play this? Well, it's not about being too busy to be productive. It's about creating a perception of busyness, which will allow you to prioritize your tasks the way you see fit. Next time your boss or colleague asks if you can take on yet another project, respond with something like, "I'm working on a couple of things right now, but let me look at my schedule and see how I can help." Make them think you're juggling a million tasks at once, and you'll be amazed at how much more they respect your time. Just make sure you are actually working on things that are meaningful. Flipping the power dynamic with strategic complaining. I know. Complaining sounds like the last thing you should do in a workplace, but hear me out. Complaining strategically can flip the power dynamic and make people see you as someone who's not afraid to stand up for what's right. But there's a fine line between strategic complaining and whining. The key is to complain constructively. You want to voice a concern in a way that shows you're solution-oriented, not just a negative Nancy. For example, instead of saying, "Ugh, I can't believe I have to deal with this mess again," say something like, "I think we can improve how this process works. I've got a couple of ideas that could help streamline things." This way, you're still pointing out an issue, but you're also showcasing your problem-solving skills and initiative. Now, everyone sees you as someone who's proactive, someone who doesn't just sit around and complain, but someone who makes things better. Become the expert without being the expert. Now, here's the thing. You don't always have to know everything to get ahead. In fact, not knowing something can actually work in your favor if you play it right. But here's the twist. While pretending to be clueless can help, you also want to look like an expert in a way that benefits you, without the headache of actually knowing everything. The trick here is strategic knowledge acquisition. Find an area, any area, that your workplace values. It doesn't have to be something you've been an expert in for years. What matters is that you seem just knowledgeable enough to be the go-to person on the topic. The key? Focus on something specific and own it. Maybe you're not the best at everything tech-related, but you know the latest project management software inside out. Maybe you're not the CEO of strategic marketing, but you can predict exactly what's coming down the pipeline by tracking a few key industry trends. People will start seeking you out for your insights, making you the in-demand expert without the need for endless study or a PhD. When you don't have to fight for attention, you're free to get ahead without all the fuss. And guess what? You've just positioned yourself as irreplaceable. The underdog trick. Let others think they're winning. Sometimes, the best way to get what you want is to pretend like you're losing. I know. It sounds like a crazy, twisted strategy, but hear me out. The underdog has power. If you've ever watched any sports movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. People love a comeback, and when you position yourself as the one who's been overlooked or underestimated, you can gain all the sympathy and attention you need to win in the long run. So, how do you do this? It's simple. Let them underestimate you. Don't walk into the office like you're about to give a TED Talk on how great you are. Play it cool. Don't overplay your hand. Keep your cards close. When people start doubting your potential, they'll give you the space to prove them wrong. And trust me, when you rise from the ashes like a phoenix, they won't know what hit them. Remember, the best comebacks don't happen overnight. Let them think they have the upper hand and then, when the time is right, hit them with a move so sharp, they'll be scrambling to keep up. It's the quiet confidence that wins in the end. Manipulate time like it's your personal assistant. Let's be honest. Time is the most underrated tool in the workplace. People often panic when they see deadlines looming. But guess what? You can manipulate time in a way that works in your favor. How? By slowing down when they expect you to rush and speeding up when they expect you to slow down. Imagine you're handed a massive project with a tight deadline. Everyone's scrambling to complete it at the last minute, working overtime, complaining, and generally being a hot mess. Meanwhile, you've been steadily chipping away at it while everyone else burned themselves out. Now, when it's time to deliver, you're already ahead. You didn't just meet the deadline. You sailed past it, looking calm, collected, and organized. On the other hand, when everyone expects something to take longer, find a way to finish early. It's all about controlling how others perceive your time. If they think you're behind schedule, they'll think twice before assigning you more work. If they think you're on top of things, suddenly, you're the go-to person for those high-profile tasks. Use your enemies to propel you forward. Oh yes, let's talk about office enemies. The ones who make snide comments, talk behind your back, or try to take credit for your work. At first, it's tempting to take the high road or just ignore them. But spoiler alert, those enemies? They're actually your greatest source of momentum. How, you ask? By using their hostility or negative energy as fuel for your fire. Don't fall into the trap of reacting emotionally. Instead, calmly observe their moves and outsmart them. They want to see you fail? Prove them wrong with an outcome that makes everyone in the room drop their jaws. Keep track of what they say about you, especially when they underestimate you. When it's time to shine, make sure they're watching. And while they're sulking in the corner, pat yourself on the back for outsmarting them without breaking a sweat. You've just turned a threat into an opportunity. Nice, right? How to work harder without actually working harder. Now, this one is a bit of a paradox, but here's the reality. You don't need to kill yourself working long hours to climb the corporate ladder. The key to success in a cutthroat, toxic workplace isn't necessarily about the amount of work you do. It's about the perception of work. You want to make it look like you're always on top of things, always in demand, but you don't want to burn yourself out doing it. The secret is in delegation and setting boundaries. Learn to delegate to others in a way that seems like you're being efficient, not lazy. Create systems, manage timelines, and put in place the necessary processes that look like hard work but don't require you to do everything yourself. Get comfortable saying, "I'm doing a strategic deep dive into this," when you're actually sitting in a meeting or reading a book on productivity. Remember, perception is half the battle. If people think you're constantly hustling, they'll treat you like you're a high-performing rock star, even if you're just reading emails while sipping coffee. Create allies in unexpected places. Not everyone in the workplace is a competitor or someone to be wary of. Sometimes, the most unlikely people are your ticket to moving forward. So, don't focus only on the obvious power players. Look around and find allies where you least expect them. Is there a colleague who seems to be in the background but knows a ton about the company's history? They could be your best source of information. Is there someone in HR who seems to have their finger on the pulse of office gossip? You'd be surprised how much intel they can offer. Make it a habit to network with people who can provide you with insights, even if they don't have the power to give you a promotion today. The goal is to collect allies who can subtly advocate for you when you're not around. You'll be amazed at how much support can come from the least obvious sources. Sometimes, all it takes is one person in the right place to open a door that you didn't even know existed. Brought to you by Lux von Zollern, the maker of exclusive garments for successful women, available at the website lvzprestige.com. Think Lux von Zollern when you wish to amplify your executive impact in high-stakes business environments.